We're talking about Amazon. Look at what's happening with shopping centers. Gone.
Yeah.
Office buildings. Gone.
Gone.
And you're going to sit there and say, oh, the government's going to take care of me? Holy mackerel. What we're doing with AI today. But that's all I knew. I can't believe what they're doing. AI is going to take over machines. Look, I thank you for telling me about Bitcoin. Not that my mind was closed to it. It's not my strike zone. When Rel said buy Bitcoin, it forced my brain open. And so my question to you is, when's the next entry point for me?
Right now is my answer.
Really? Well, just yesterday, I was at my dentist's office with a guy as old as me, and he's showing me my teeth via AI. Now, Rel, I had no idea what he was talking about. But he's an old guy, an old dentist. He was blown away. He says, these are just your teeth. What we're doing with AI today. But that's all I knew. An old guy, an old dentist, just going, I can't believe what they're doing. And so he and I were conjecturing, like we're doing now, what happens tomorrow. And what he said is that AI is going to take over machines.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've all seen this machine learning and AI coming, and then suddenly that chat GPT happened, and suddenly human knowledge has become scalable. That is something, yes, books did that before, but not in the same way as this. It means we've got infinite knowledge accessible anywhere all the time in a way that we can't understand. So I think it's one of the most powerful technologies the world has ever seen. And when you hear people like Sam Altman talking about it, they don't even know how these things learn. There's an amazing documentary about DeepMind, the Google version, when it beat the best Go player in the world. And there was this moment where it started playing Go like no human. And they're like, well, it's clearly gone crazy. It's mad. It doesn't work. And then it won every single game ever since that date. And it had learned itself how to play the game of Go in a way no human had ever done before, played moves that no human had done, and had strategies that they didn't know. And that's the same thing with AI now and these large language models. We don't even know what they know. All we know is what we can ask them. And that's kind of weird. It's like meeting somebody in a foreign language and you've only got some of the words, in Spanish to ask them a few questions. That's not the extent of their knowledge. It's the extent of our ability to question them. So there's that happening. And then, as you said, Robert, the applications at real world level outside of this chat GPT are growing everywhere.
We're talking about Amazon. Look at what's happening with shopping centers. Gone.
Yeah.
Office buildings. Gone.
Gone.
And you're going to sit there and say, oh, the government's going to take care of me? Holy mackerel. Well, it goes back again, Rel, to Rich Dad Poor Dad, based upon two words, asset versus liability. What's an asset? What's a liability? It's called financial literacy. How do you define an asset and how do you define a liability? So when Wall Street defines an asset as a mutual fund, they go a little nuts. The question is, whose asset is it? Who's the counterparty there? So this piece of gold has no counterparty. That's why I call gold, silver, I call it God's money. It was placed here by God. They're in the periodic tables. Bitcoin is people's money. Because Wall Street, well, so far they can't mess with it that much. And so he goes into financial literacy definitions. What is an asset? What's a liability? So that's why I know he's hated by a lot of people, but Trump and I are really good friends. And we talk about how we create our own assets. What an entrepreneur does is I don't need Wall Street and I don't need the Fed, anybody to create my assets. I create my own assets. I don't want anything that you can mess with. I don't want any of this stuff here. I want this stuff here. So I invest in cattle. You know what I mean? It's hard to digitize a cow. Do you know what I mean? So I have cattle. And then the way I make my money is when I was 15 years old, growing up in Hawaii, there was a dairy nearby. And then it had this guy called the breeding bull. And so this big bull sits there, and all they did was drag cows in front of him. His only job was to do what every man wants to do, is be a breeding bull. So I'm 15 years old going, ooh, I want that job. So when this opportunity came up to buy a Japanese breeding bull, Wagyu bull, I said, oh, good, now I'm a Japanese breeding bull. So the Fed cannot print Wagyu bull semen. So I sell it. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything they cannot print, I'm in. I invest in oil. But I don't invoice, I used to work for Standard Oil as a third mate on their tankers. So I understand the oil industry. But I don't invest in the stocks, I invest in the oil. But that's step one. Step two, I thank you for telling me about Bitcoin. Not that my mind was closed to it. It's not my strike zone. I mean, it's not what I understand. I'm so technologically obsolete, I barely use a cell phone. So you've got to have friends. Like when Rel said buy Bitcoin, it forced my brain open. And that's the beauty of YouTube and all this. I have access. Like I listen to you, like Jim Rogers. Another guy is that guy, Jim Rogers in Singapore. He says invest in what you know in. But also I have friends who know what they're talking about. So I know you know about Bitcoin. I don't know anything about it. I do know gold. I own gold mines. I own more gold than most of the experts on TV, but I just trust gold. They can't print it. So first you open your mind. Second, know something's coming. Then you've got to have access to guys like Rel and trust what they say, because I'm not going to spend the time that Rel's put into studying Bitcoin. But when you said buy it at 6, I went, okay. And so my question to you is, when's the next entry point for me?
Right now is my answer.
Really?
We're standing at the precipice where the machines are going to take more power in the world.
Yeah.
More central bank printing is coming, because the only answer to raising rates now is to deal with the economic downside, which is print more money, right, or more cowbell, as I call it. The asset that does the best in that environment is cryptocurrency and technology. So we're in this perfect storm, and gold tends to do well, where this barbell strategy, the Robert strategy of gold and hard assets that you can't recreate, versus technology plus crypto, I think kind of nails the best strategy. And then invest in yourself. The main thing is that asset, you need to make that one grow.